Luke Thomas agrees with Ariel Helwani that Alex Pereira might be lying about his account being hacked. So let's rewind. Alex dropped a cryptic tweet hinting at tension with the UFC, basically saying if they want to play games, I can play too. A few hours later, he's on Instagram claiming he has no idea what's going on and everything's fine. Oh, and that his account was hacked. That's when Ariel Helwani raised eyebrows, questioning the whole hack excuse, especially since no one from Pereira's team responded to him directly. And now, Luke Thomas is right there with him. He agrees. Something about this situation feels off. Luke pointed out how unusual it is for a hacker to post something so specific, so UFC related, instead of doing the usual spam or scam stuff. Both Ariel and Luke know how the game works, and if they're raising red flags, there's probably smoke behind the fire. Whether it's a failed negotiation tactic, a miscommunication, or something bigger going on behind the scenes, something clearly isn't adding up.
All right, when was the last time somebody got hacked and A, they wrote just one tweet, and B, wrote in such a way that like echoes specific things about the broader reality, right? Like fighters complaining about the UFC on Twitter, this has been done, or social media has been done a million times. And it echoes, like if you didn't know it was hacked, you'd be like, right, here we go. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's one thing for like Dustin Poirier to get hacked and be like, oh, click this link to buy my MacBook, or someone hacks Kamaru and then they're just saying the N-word or something like that. But you know, it was a bunch of tweets in both cases, and it was, you know, you could tell that something was off. Reading that, I mean, yeah, it's English, not Portuguese. It matches up with a behavior pattern that would indicate it was intentional and not done by a hacker, like it was done by the actor himself or Poatan or somebody in this camp. You know, I don't know shit.
Kamaru Usman isn't holding back in response to Belal Muhammad's bold claim that he plans to strictly stand and strike with lifelong striker Della Maddalena. He thinks if Belal sticks to that plan, he's going to lose. And not only that, Kamaru added, it's not the kind of decision a true championship level fighter makes. You don't go into a fight ignoring your strengths, especially when you've got elite tools most guys don't. Belal's stand-up has definitely come a long way. He's sharper, more confident, and he's put in real work over the years. But let's not get it twisted. It's his pressure and wrestling that got him to the top of the welterweight division. That relentless style is what earned him this title shot, not trying to be a kickboxer overnight. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who just showed up to UFC weigh-ins and had staff asking who he was. He's always been the underdog, always had something to prove, but now that he's finally here, he can't afford to play someone else's game. If he does, Della will light him up. Simple as that. Leave your predictions for this fight in the comments below.
Listen, I don't take anything that these guys say to heart. I don't believe them in any way. Saying, oh, I'm not going to take one shot, I'm just going to strike with the guy. You're saying I'm going to take away what makes me good, what separates me, and I'm just going to give this guy a shot to potentially beat me. So with that being said, I mean, if that actually is what he's going to go out there and do, then I could see a potential upset here. But, you know, the champions are the ones that are able to be smart enough to know that, hey, I need to go in here and I need to do what I need to do to get this victory. And so if he goes out there and mixes it up, I could see him definitely getting the victory. But yeah, I just don't like what I've been hearing from the camp. Oh, we're working on his boxing. He just worked boxing this camp, or he's not going to take one shot. I don't like hearing that. Just state what you're going to do and go out there and execute that. I think that's what makes champions.
In a painfully awkward moment that Belal Muhammad will likely never forget, the Montreal commissioner failed to even recognize him as he stepped up to weigh in for the main event. Yep, Belal, the undisputed world champion who's headlining one of the most important fights of his career, had to stand there and awkwardly clarify who he was, until a UFC staff member stepped in to save the moment and explain that yes, this was indeed the man fighting Della Maddalena in Saturday night's headliner.
Undisputed UFC welterweight champion Belal, remember the name Muhammad.
Main event.
Main event 170, sir. And you can go with it.
This is not exactly the kind of spotlight you want before your first title defense as a UFC champ. UFC President Dana White has already confirmed that the stakes for this bout are sky high. The winner between Belal and Della Maddalena will go a long way in determining the landscape at the top of the welterweight division, and more importantly, it will help shape what comes next for Ilia Topuria. Ilia made it clear he is definitely getting a lightweight title shot next. By the way, the Georgian changed his nickname back to El Matador after receiving major backlash by the MMA community. La Leyenda didn't sit well with the fans. Either way, this fight matters, even if someone forgot to tell the commissioner who Belal Muhammad was. Later, Belal was asked how he felt about the perceived disrespect and where his head is at now.
Do you feel like, Belal, that you're not getting respect as a champion? Like, in other words, it seems like everybody kind of looks like you're the guy to be knocked off, right? You're the guy that, you're the weak champion, so to speak. After what you've done and who you've beaten, I'm a little surprised that that narrative's still out there.
Yeah, 100%. For me, I like that, right? I like to be the guy that they'll think will lose. I like to think that the weakest champion, right? Because I'm just going to keep going out here and keep winning. I've been told from the beginning that I would never be champion, that I wouldn't beat these guys, that this next guy would beat you. Oh, this guy's for sure going to beat you. Keep it coming. Keep those names coming. Keep that attitude coming. Keep that same energy. And then when I'm the best welterweight to ever do it, at the end of when it's all said and done, then they're going to realize, all right, well, we're eating crow.
Bo Nickal isn't running from his first UFC loss, he's embracing it. On the latest episode of Bo's podcast, the former collegiate wrestling standout opened up about the aftermath of his defeat against RDR. It was his first taste of adversity in MMA, and the reaction was brutal. Fans who had long criticized the UFC's push of Nickal were quick to celebrate his fall, while fighters across the roster questioned how he handled the pressure when things didn't go his way, especially considering he was stopped by a fighter known more for submissions than striking. But Nickal isn't shying away from the criticism. Instead, he's storing every bit of it as fuel. He made it clear that he's keeping receipts and plans to use all the doubt and backlash as motivation when he eventually climbs his way back to the top.
And all the people that, it's interesting, of course, you mentioned there's a lot of positive and a lot of negative. All the negative, for me, I look at that and all I say is just like, suck my at the end of the day, say what you want, but when I get back on top and when I'm the freaking champion of the world,
they're all crawling back.
You all come crawling back.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.